as a veteran, small business owner, what can we do for you?
What we can all do for all veteran business owners is promote each other.
My main mission was to look at tools of technology to leverage small business and give them more of a competitive advantage.
My mission for Veteran Bargains is very simple: to help vets.
That story in itself, to run for Vista City Council, is a journey.
I think this is an opportunity to really collaborate with those gone before us.
It's really kind of a labor of love.
And now your host.
Happy Friday, happy weekend. Looking forward to connecting with you once more through this Veteran Radio Show and podcast. On the back, our show producer, Michael Woods, our founder and CEO, Joseph Molina, and monitoring our comments is our show marketing engagement, Dali Rivera. On this Veteran Radio Show, which features military veterans, spouses, and community leaders while exploring heroism and leadership from those making it happen in our community. We want to welcome and introduce you to meet Michelle Renee Weil, founder and CEO of Rain Education Strategies and Technologies, aka BEST. Also, her company provides solutions for those struggling with day-to-day cognitive challenges and offers tools to help them increase independence in life on a day-to-day basis, and so that they can have the best life available for them. Also with her is Julie Hendricks, who is a Navy nurse veteran who also supports the BEST project as a trainee and is on her way to become a mentor for Train the Trainer for this particular program. BEST is partnering with BCC, Veteran Chamber of Commerce, to offer a Train the Trainer program to help veterans with TBI and PTSD learn how to use the app and design specifically key areas to address the cognitive issues associated with these conditions. So without further ado, let's welcome Michelle Renee Weil and Julie Hendricks. Hi, ladies. Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming. And thank you for being here and taking a busy time of your schedule. I'm going to hand it over to Joe. He always likes to do a warm welcome to our guest, and we're very appreciative of your time for this particular Friday. Joe?
Well, thank you very much, Laura, and I really thank you for your time. And also want to welcome again Michelle and Julie. And I just happy to that you have the time to showcase what the program is doing for veterans and how the app is going to help everyone with PTSD and TBI. And we are very appreciative of our partnership as we're supporting veterans who are in the transition to being and feeling better because of the program. But I noticed that you brought Julie with you today, and I thank you, Julie, for coming to the show. And I'm looking forward to the interview with you and Laura. Thank you, Laura, and I just let you take it from here.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for your time and for the creativity to bring in quality guests who have something to offer for our military community. And so without further ado, we're going to jump into the questions, Michelle, because I am very interested. I know that I referenced to your project as BEST, BEST, but I really want you to tell me a little bit more about you, first of all, you and your connection to the veteran community. And then I'm coming over to you, Julie, in a little bit.
Great. Well, my name is Michelle Renee Weil, as we mentioned, and I'm actually an educator. I started teaching at Coastline College, which is in Orange County, Newport Beach, California, about over 30 years ago. And I teach in a special program for adults with acquired brain injury. So that's really my background. My entire career has been working with individuals with brain injury and cognitive challenges. So when the OEF, OIF, conflict started, I started reaching out to the military, to the veterans, and various and sundry groups, because we had a particular background and strategy in dealing with what became the signature injury of those wars. And so I started reaching out to the veteran community way back in 2001, 2002, and have been working with veterans ever since, either through the VA system, volunteering and doing different things, but primarily through providing trainings and helping veterans understand the impact of brain injury and post-traumatic stress from a cognitive perspective. That's really my emphasis.
That's fantastic. That's great history. So thank you so much for your time and most importantly for identifying this as a source, the veteran community as a source for you to make a much greater impact. Now, how about you, Julie? What about you? Tell me about you and your fabulous career as a Navy nurse.
I was in the Navy for about 22 years, a little over 22 years, and retired at the end of 2013. I did not have a TBI, but I was diagnosed with PTSD back about 2009. Had struggled before then, but really didn't consider that would be an issue. And then since 2009, it just things came to me a little more difficultly, and I just assumed it was because I, getting ready to transition and had a lot going on. I was always very active in animal rescue, and it just never occurred to me that there might be something going on. And actually, even after I saw Joe Molina's advertisement about this project, it still hadn't really occurred to me. But I've been struggling in different ways. And as I sat and listened to the training, the initial part of the training on the introduction to the cognitive impact of both PTSD and TBI, I had some rude awakening, rude awarenesses of this, and it really helped me see what has been going on with me in a different light. Really gave me some hope for how I might work with the best suite, both for myself and for other veterans. So yeah, it's been interesting.
And I'm glad that you are able to utilize these resources to identify this, because you probably would have gone through many more years of silent wounds and just unidentifiable issues that perhaps you probably would have not been able to really target or find point to, what is this happening to me? So I'm glad that you are sharing your story and really reiterating how important it is to really do more in-depth, self-look on some of these issues that sometimes we sort of normalize. But at the same time, it's really not part of the transition. There's really something out there that we all experience at some point, especially in the veteran community. Now, Michelle, how did you get started with BEST? And just tell me a little bit more about what is BEST in general. And I know I'm using BEST, the acronym, but tell me about BEST.
Sure. Well, BEST, again, stands for Brain Education Strategies and Technology. And what we wanted to do when we started BEST, it was about 4.5 years ago or so. And a student of mine at Coastline that was going to graduate from the program was really interested in sort of taking what we had been doing in my classroom and trying to apply that to an older population. And so we started talking and identified that, we really had similar kinds of goals. And so we sort of came together and created BEST. So my partner in crime is Christy Perro, and we've been doing it ever since. It is designed specifically to help individuals with cognitive challenges learn to use tools, technology, and to create some online training, such as cognitive trainings, to help individuals that are struggling with post-traumatic stress, brain injury, multiple sclerosis, a variety of other cognitive conditions, to really help them begin to build their life back. Often cognitive conditions can really wreak havoc with your everyday life. And I think, as Julie had kind of mentioned, a lot of times people don't really recognize that as the problem. And so at BEST, we really want to help people recognize it as a problem and then provide some very practical tools that they can use in order to deal with. That doesn't mean the problems go away necessarily, but it means that you can learn some strategies that will help you deal with those problems so that they don't become so overwhelming for you. We really want to help people become more independent as they move on through their lives, even though they are still perhaps living with brain injury and post-traumatic stress. So BEST, we founded BEST again about 4.5 years ago, and we have an app. It's called the BEST Suite, and that's what we're using with the project. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes. But we're really excited at BEST. Another thing, just as a quick reference, that I think really has made us grow significantly is right now we have a working group of about 10 individuals, all of which were former students, of mine that are living with brain injury. And so we're sort of there together. We're working through all these things together. They have very, very specific specialties, marketing and sales, and we have a doctor on our working group. All these individuals have teachers on our working group. So all of these individuals that are living with a brain injury are pooling together and really helping best develop something that we hope will spread across the United States and across the world. It gives them an opportunity to practice their skills in a really safe environment and to also give back and to help really develop. So one example of this is Julie being a part of our working group now, because she's on our team for the Veterans Project, has given us some really great suggestions on little tweaks that we can make to the app that's going to make them better for everybody. And so we're so excited to be working as a team at this point. Christy and I were in it together there for a few years, and the last year and a half, we've had an amazing team. So we're very excited about it.
And I'm very excited to see that your community has grown and you're really just building that really impact. Because I know I remember presentations from you at one of the Vans meetings, probably about a year ago or so, and when you were just first introducing this concept. And I'm glad that now it's actually, touching people and touching individuals like Julie, so that they can really track a much greater progress and really adapt it to their needs and their ability. And so with that, Julie, let me ask you now, what motivated you, or how did you get connected to BEST?
I was actually through the Veterans Chamber of Commerce. Joe, I connected to Joe on LinkedIn, and he put the ad out. And I'm actually in a psychology PhD program, so it looked very, very interesting to me. And as a nurse, I became very familiar with the concept of cognitive overload, even just for people that don't have any brain injury or any challenges like that. And so I was intrigued by it. I was interested in seeing how I might explore that more for veterans and in support of the project. So.
And well, I'm glad that you, with your background and your immediate connection to the veteran, you have been able to facilitate some great feedback for Michelle so that it can really adapt to our lifestyle. So thank you so much for all that involvement. And I'm going to take a few minutes right now real quick to recap, but also to acknowledge our sponsor for today. So if you watching us, if this is the first time you're watching us on LinkedIn, this is the Veterans Radio Show and podcast. Comes out every Friday, bringing you key leaders and people making it happen in our veteran community. Our sponsor for today is Connect Street app, an innovative app to connect veterans and resources easily to their ability, to the mentors, to the community connections, and any one of those referrals that are needed for the veteran community. We're talking to Michelle Weil, founder and CEO of Brain Education Strategies and Technology. In short version is BEST. Her company provides solutions for those struggling with day-to-day cognitive challenges and tools to help them increase independence and live the best life. I also have Julie Hendricks, who is a Navy nurse and also a trainee in the process right now, but eventually will be a trainer, who's going to help us expand initiatives for the veteran community to make sure that we identified best practices for our community so that they can take advantage of BEST. So thank you so much for watching. And so, Michelle, what are some of those immediate goals that you have currently going on with this particular app that we can help you and that we can amplify our message to our community?
That's great. So our goal right now is to really get the word out about a project that we're working on called the Veterans Train the Trainer Project. And this is a project that we're working on with the Veterans Chamber of Commerce. So we're very excited about that. We received a small grant to do this, and so this is really a pilot project for us. It expands actually on a project that BEST did alone a few years ago, where we worked with 50 veterans and taught them how to use the apps, and we got some really great results from that. So this particular project, we've asked Joe and the Veterans Chamber of Commerce to join us, and we are now training trainers in order to work with veterans that are living with post-traumatic stress and TBI. And so in this particular project, we'll be training up to 10 trainers The trainers, we hope, will be mostly veterans. We have a few people that aren't veterans on the training group right now, but everyone will be able to relate to each other in terms of either living with a post-traumatic stress or brain injury and or their experience as a veteran. And so in this particular project, we're going to train trainers to then go out and find other veterans that are actually living with TBI and post-traumatic stress and maybe really struggling. We really want to get the trainers to train trainees, so to speak, if you will. And as a result of that, really expand the project. So the goals, Laura, I think, are really to finish up this pilot project, to get some really great results, which we're getting that right now, and then to really scale this up so that it's a project that we can work on with the Veterans Chamber of Commerce, not just more on a local level, but on a national level. And so we're very excited about it, and I think we have a really great start.
That's fantastic. And that's a really great project, a really great way for a lot of us out there in the community that can get involved and really make a much greater impact to support veterans, who are experiencing this, going through this, and so that they don't have to go alone. But with that being said, I want to put Julie on the spot and ask her, what is your training day-to-day process involves like? What does it look like on your end, and what have you?
Well, one of the things I really like about the Best Suite is that I can experiment with the different apps and figure out which ones I most need for what's going on with me. It's very flexible and robust in that way. I really appreciate that, especially in the military. We're always flexing and moving in the directions we need to, and having an app that helps me do that really, really works for me. One of the other things that I found is that and I didn't expect it really helped me raise more of my self-awareness so that I could better identify what resources I did need to help me. I think one of the challenges as a transitioning veteran especially is there are a lot of resources out there, but knowing which ones I need is sometimes the most difficult and anxiety-provoking part. And I found that working with the Best Suite has helped me become more self-aware, even in this short time, such that I'm honing in on resources that I need more, differently than I have even just a few weeks ago.
That's great. And for how long is this training period until you can actually become considered a trainer?
It's pretty flexible. I mean, we started out, I think, 4 to 6 weeks. Is that right, Michelle?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But still, what I really enjoy about this process is Michelle's had a lot of experience with people with TBI and with cognitive challenges, and so she's very flexible to work with. She's an educator, so she understands learning principles and the needs for practice, so I really appreciate that learning environment.
That's fantastic. That's great. So on any immediate action plans right now, or call of actions, Michelle, what would you tell our community? How can we all get involved, especially since today we are broadcasting through another feed, another audience, which is LinkedIn, where a lot of professionals who may review this later and be aware that about this amazing best project that you have going on and how they can get involved with you. Or your community.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So we have a website specifically set up for the Veterans Train the Trainer project. It's our VT3 project that we call it. It's veterans.bestbrainsolutions.org. And if your audience will go there, you'll see a main homepage that gives a little bit of information about the project. There's also 2 links, a link for individuals that may be interested in being one of our 10 trainers, but we also have a link specifically for potential people that may be living with brain injury or TBI or post-traumatic stress, that are interested in participating. You will receive the app for free. You will receive the training for free. Our training is actually online, so you can do the training yourself sort of in your own time and in your own space. It's kind of an anytime, anywhere training. And then what we'll be doing is we'll be meeting periodically with each other. We're going to be using Slack as an environment to engage each other. And we're going to work together as a team. So what we're really trying to do is to build a unit that we can grow and that we can work with. So if you have questions about the apps themselves, you can go to our regular BEST website, which is bestconnections.org. And there's some information on that site that talks about all the different apps and what they work on. There's actually several apps or tools within the BEST suite. There's one for fatigue and energy management, one for identifying strategies and using strategies, one for goal setting, and then one for task management. And a new one that we're just coming out with, which is a queuing system that will help people that have difficulty with initiation. I was really glad that Julie mentioned self-regulation and insight development, self-awareness. That's really the whole crux of the app. It's designed to help individuals become more aware, to become more insightful, so that they can make better decisions throughout their day in order to conserve energy and in order to be more successful.
That's fantastic. And I do have a question here for you from one of the comments through YouTube. Is the program free? So I'm assuming it's referring to the program on the trainer, right? The trainer program, the trainee. Is that free?
Yes, the Train the Trainer program is free. And again, with that, you'll get all the training and you'll get the app. And we're going to build our community or our unit. The app itself, if you were to buy it separately, is $9.99 right now. We are very mindful. We're a nonprofit. We're very mindful that a lot of individuals who need to use this app may be financially, not as secure as they'd like to be. And so, although we have to charge for it, we're trying to find a price point that makes sense for everyone. And if you think about it, you're looking at the cost of a couple of lattes. And this app really is something that you can take with you and hold on to it forever. We never charge for updates, and we constantly are updating our trainings. So there's a lot there.
Maybe perhaps, there will be a community investment or someone out there who could potentially sponsor some apps for veterans who can utilize this. I mean, I'm not hint, I'm throwing it out there for our community, right? Because this is a great way, especially right now. This is a month that we bring in the spotlight, veteran suicide prevention and all kinds of mental health. So this is a great call of action for a lot of us out there who maybe perhaps be able to donate or support further, through this app, those that might want to get involved, but perhaps cannot afford it at the moment. So I'm just throwing that out there for you, for the community, just in case. Now, what is there one thing that we can do for you, and how we can best support you as we get closer to wrapping up this particular segment? So either one of you guys, I'll start with Julie. Julie, what is there one thing that we can do to better support you to complete your training program, or just at the personal level as a veteran yourself out in our community?
Well, as I get more comfortable using the app, I will be looking for trainees. So volunteers. Volunteers to test out your trainer abilities. Got it. Right. And I mean, just being able to be on the show and speak about it has really been helpful. It is, as you said, there are a lot of veterans out there struggling alone. Sometimes we refer to it as suffering in silence. And, if this even just helps bring people together and take a look at some different ways that that fellow veterans might be able to help them, or people who are suffering too with PTSD or TBI might be able to help them. Let's try it out. So the more we can do to help each other, the better.
Absolutely, and take advantage of our technology and the latest gadgets that really allows you to have that portability, so that obviously the one-on-one and the in-person connection is by far always the best. But this particular the best can be also a nice alternative for you to make those connections and support that you need. What about you, Ms. Michelle? What action items or what can we do to further support you with this project?
Wow, I'm not sure I can follow up after that, Julie. So thanks a lot. I think if we can get some trainers or some mentors, some trainees would be amazing. Our goal for this project is to train 100 people by mid-February. So with our 10 trainers, we are each committing to train 10 people, 10 veterans that are struggling. And so if you could help us out with that, that would be amazing. I do want to mention one thing. the app is currently only available for iOS devices, Apple devices. And so if there's anyone out there that, is struggling and could really benefit but may not have a device, it'll work on an iPhone or an iPad. Another thing that maybe this group could do would to help some people who might benefit that might not have the technology, help us get that technology to them, because it will make a difference for them. We've seen this for many years now since we started working with the app, and we're just so excited to be partnering with the Veterans Chamber of Commerce and the radio show. And again, there's no way I could follow up better than Julie did, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all of your support and for your community involvement, but most importantly for your, just the greater sense to make an impact in our veteran community. I think that by far is the greatest, mentorship and leadership that we really love to see at this Veterans Radio Show. And that's why we created this, so that we can bring spotlight to great initiatives such as this one. And I'm going to bring back our boss, Joseph Molina, so that he can come back and wrap us up, close the gap, and so that we can then welcome new segments for the following Friday. Joe?
Well, thank you very much, Laura, for the awesome interview, and Michelle and Julie for the presentation. And yeah, we're very, very excited to be part of the process, part of the program, and very happy to support and do our part on helping promote the app, helping promote and kind of seek out more instructors, more presenters, and of course, taking this to the basis. And so we are talking with the SBA and other partners, also in other states, to make the program available so people who need the access to the app have access to the app easily. And of course, funding is always a challenge, whether it's technology, whether it's anything else. So we are, Michelle and I meet frequently to see other venues and other avenues for us to secure funding for the program. So, but again, if you're listening to this show, you want to get involved with as a participant or as an instructor or as a leader, just let us know. Let Michelle and myself know, and then we'll be happy to bring you on board. The only requirement is passion. The only requirement is drive. Everything else, we take care of it. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Julie, for your participation, and Laura for the amazing hosting. Appreciate it. And Michael, very nice seeing you on backstage, and also Dali. Really appreciate it. It makes the show really, really amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for everyone who has participated and made this happen. And those of you who are, watching and you watch the replay, make sure that you follow us on YouTube as well as on LinkedIn and our Facebook. This show, the Veterans Radio Show, features military veterans, spouses, and community leaders while exploring heroism, action, and leadership from those that are making it happen, like Michelle Renee Weil and Julie Hendricks on this particular occasion. And we are here every Friday, so make sure that you join us. Next Friday, we have a very special show, which is all about community in action. And it's sort of our own version of a town hall meeting, bringing you certain partners that are key leaders at make sure that you follow us. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. As a veteran, small business owner, what can we do for you?
What we can all do for all veteran business owners is promote each other.
My main mission was to look at tools of technology to leverage small business and give them more of a competitive advantage.
My mission for Veteran Bargains is very simple: to help vets.
That story in itself, to run for Vista City Council, is a journey.
I think this is an opportunity to really collaborate with those gone before us.
It's really kind of a labor of love.